When they sleep, you get enough. See, this here grind ain't for everybody.
Hi, everybody.
When they sleep, you get another win. They get tired, we catch another win. Hey, Vinny, talk to him, man.
Listen.
As I wake up, wipe the cold from my eye. Praise to the most high for this day. I'm alive. Beat, brush my teeth, proceed to the grind. Dream big, do bigger, reminder to live by. Easier said than done is why I think most settle. Some shoot for the stars, some on astronaut level. Space shuttle. No compromise when it comes to mine.
All right, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. All right, this is Denise Nicola Farrell, and I am so excited to move on to the next stage of our book. So, the theme is finding happiness in 2020, in 2021, right? And a lot of times, I know I used to anyway, I thought happiness came from outside. I thought if I just earned another free car, I would be happy. I thought if I just ranked up in my business, I would be happy. I thought if I bought a house, I'd be happy. And then one day it dawned on me, why not just be happy? So I am going to talk today about some things that you can do in relation to the book we're reading so that you can get the happiness you seek. You see, true happiness, first of all, is what is happening. Okay? So what my intention is for you to find joy. And with joy, it happens it's an inside job. So you have it and it bubbles over and people can feel it and you feel energized. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about, and some things that can happen, that can help you to find happiness, but you truly, truly want joy. So I'm back to talking about this book. I'm going to leave it up there long enough because I heard people say that I didn't leave it up long enough so they couldn't see the name of the book. So it's When You Can Walk on Water, Why Take the Boat? All right. So I want to start off with this scripture that has been, I don't know if I think I'm ready for it. What my mentor Melville used to say was that when a student is ready to learn, the teacher can teach. And, there's a Bible verse that talks about whatever is true, whatever is of good report, think on these things. And I've been finding it everywhere. I've been finding it in books that I'm reading since the last couple of weeks. And in fact, I even found an old goal box, a box that I wrote down all my goals in. I think it must have been over 10 years ago. And I was so surprised to see that I'm like, okay, I, Denise Nicola Farrell, will constantly think on whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is of good report, whatever is just, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is commendable. If there's any excellence in it, if there's anything praiseworthy, I will think on these things. And I'm going to ask you all to do that. Okay. I want you to consider that this day and this year as you go about creating your life, your happiness. But of course, you need joy. So let's move on. So I'll tell you a couple stories. We're going to talk about working with your imagination so you can get what you want. Okay. So I remember when I was maybe not 5, but I was a young girl in Jamaica, and they had this game. And if there are any Jamaicans watching, you might know what I'm talking about, where they had these balloons, and you had the super big balloon that everybody wanted. And then you had the little itty bitty balloon that nobody wanted. And they were on like a track. And if you picked a ticket that was facing the opposite way, and the number on the back of the ticket corresponded with a balloon, you got the balloon that you chose. So say, for example, you looked at a ticket, you say, okay, give me that ticket. And when you turned over you got the smallest balloon. You just take it and you're happy and you're good. Maybe disappointed, but whatever. So I remember going into the store and I said to my mom, I'm going to get the big balloon. And I went in and I picked, and it was the big balloon. And I'll never forget that story because that left a mark in my brain. And I still think of that because at that age, I knew the power of declaring what you want. So we're going to talk to you, everyone, about that and how to set yourself up to get what you want. So everybody already has made a list of 25 things already that you wanted to achieve in 2021, right? I know you already have. If you haven't, no worries. Just go back ahead and do it again. I mean, do it, all right? You will see the benefit of it. Now, the key with the list is that you want to carry that list around with you as you go about life, and look at it occasionally and say, "Oh, all right," and imagine yourself as if you already had it. And in fact, in the stories, I am going to post some TikTok videos that correspond with what I'm teaching today. So you can just watch it over and over until you get the concept. Okay. So, and these are not all from me. Actually, none of them are from me. These are just people who are teaching the same thing that I'm teaching. So you don't know that I'm not making it up. So, okay. So you wrote the 25 things that you want. I already told you now to start gathering pictures. And if I didn't, forgive me, start gathering pictures of your ideal life. If you want, this is another cryptocurrency reference, but if you want a Lamborghini, because people in crypto land, in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, they always said if Bitcoin got to the moon, they would buy a Lamborghini. So let's say you want a Lambo, all right? You can put a picture of the Lamborghini up and imagine yourself driving it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? At least you'll feel good imagining during the imagination process, right? But you want to put it up there, and you want to spend 17 seconds once a day. Imagine as if you already have achieved what you want. So let's say you want a home. Imagine that you're living in the home. What would it feel like? Maybe it's closing day. What would it feel like that you're signing the papers on that home? Or maybe you're in school and you want to get an A, and you just start imagining that, even though the class is challenging, you are actually doing very well. All right. So, but spend 17 seconds imagining what you want. All right. As if you already have it. Now, this is the most important step. And at first I thought this was kind of kooky. I didn't want to do it, and it was a pain, but guys, you got to do it. I would suggest, and the book suggests, I'm going to read it what she says. She says, write out a vivid vision of a day in your ultimate dream life. And that's where the pictures can help you, because it will help you to kind of picture what you want the day to look like. But write it out. Now, the key to making this a reality is you might want to read that story just before you go to bed and upon awakening in the morning. What will happen is that you will retrain your brain to fire and wire to actually direct you to finding those things or achieving that goal. There are many scientific studies on it. I always say everything I say. I always say there are scientific studies that are backing this up, because it's actually true. Scientists now are exploring the connection between imagination and what happens in the brain. And what happens is, if you get up every morning and every night before you go to bed, you read a day in your ideal life, and you emotionalize it, because thought plus emotion equals reality. That's just how it is. It's a law. Remember, I did the 7 universal laws before. If you missed it, just check out my page and just watch those videos. But if you think of something and you add emotion to it, and you do it consistently, your brain is going to create neural pathways, like a roadmap, to lead you to the achievement of those things. All right. So now you vision yourself like that. And I'll give an example. I remember one time my company was giving away a free car. It was a special free car. It was only going to be to the top 5 people in the company. And that was I think there were over a million or more consultants, right? And it was a recruiting thing and also a sales thing, but it was basically a team thing. And the team with the leader with the highest team production got the car. And I always felt, in the past, I felt like I couldn't recruit. I now know I'm a master recruiter. But every night I would go to bed and I would imagine that I got that car, and I would feel it in the core of my being. I would just feel like I earned the car. And the first time they did the drawing, one of my team members, who was a master recruiter, master seller, she won it. And I was so excited for her. We drove that car all the way from Connecticut to Pennsylvania. I was just excited because this was someone I had recruited, and she was a superstar, and she won the car. And then at night, I would say to God, God, I wish the company would do that challenge one more time. And oh my goodness, in the company magazine, they said that they were going to do another version of that thing, and they would give the car to the top 5 people in the company. And every night I would imagine that I had this car. And at the time, my last name was Robinson. So I would imagine that they would say, and the number 1 consultant from Pennsylvania, Denise Robinson. And I'd hear the screams in the audience, and that was what would lull me to bed every night. Fast forward 8 weeks later, I get a call from the company. They said, you're in the top 5 for this car. And I was like, okay. They said, we need your driver's license. How soon can you send it? I'm like, yesterday. I go to Dallas, and they have like about 15 other people who are in the running for this car. And all I heard was, and from Pennsylvania, Denise Robinson. Oh my God, I can still feel it. I just was so excited. I earned a free car from my company on stage in front of everybody, top 5 in the country. All right. And the beautiful thing about it is that not only did I have one, my recruit had one. And it was just like, it was unusual because normally only one person from each group would earn it, but 2 of us earned it from the same team. So guys, I'm telling you this because your life is magical. You know, the air around you, I'm going to explain this to you, and I pray you get it. Okay, so you have the power. I keep telling you this every time because I want you to believe this. Imagine if you were in a room right now, right? And the room started filling up with water. All right, you know, in Jamaica, sometimes they would have a flood, or they have floods all over the world. The water really fills up the empty space around you. Wherever the water is, look around you, wherever the water would fill up in your home, that's the empty space. Books after books after books have said that the empty space is alive. You don't believe me? Check out the Master Key System. You don't believe me? Check out The Secret. You don't believe me? Check out Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. You don't believe me? Check out Neville Goddard. He talks about it. I mean, there's so many books. Thomas Troward talks about it. Emmett Fox talks about it. The Bible talks about it. It's there. So as you're imagining the empty space, it relates to what you're thinking and what you're feeling. That's what it goes off. So at this time in our life and in our human race, we want to be feeling as much love as possible, because love emits 3 feet from us, and it interacts with that empty space and draws to you the good you desire. And I know you all got this. And you can research it if you don't believe me. But anyway, I digress. So you do that every morning and every night. Then you want to put practical steps into place. Now, let me say something first of all. I used to believe that it was hard work that you had to do to become successful. I really believe that, and I worked like a crazy person for 17, 18 years. And then I realized that it wasn't hard work that made people successful. And this is where some people are going to be, I'm going to lose some people. Because you're like, what is she talking about? It's not necessarily hard work. The Bible in Habakkuk 2 says, without a vision, people perish. So when you can see what you want in your mind's eye, like a clear picture, that's why we had you take out the picture, write down what you want, then cut out pictures so you can see it. Then the mind acts like a GPS to get you there. And you'll do something called inspired action. So you know every day you're going to make up a list of 6 or more things that you know you definitely are going to do every day, right? That's going to take you to the goal. But then the GPS in the mind and the law of attraction, the empty space around you, is going to guide you to make that one phone call. And that could be, the next person you need on your team. I remember when I wanted to earn my first car, I kept affirming it. And I just had a craving for ice cream. On the way to Bible study. And I ran and I went to the ice cream place and a woman was taking too long with her order. And I said, oh my God, I got to get this moving. That still small voice inside of me said, tell her about what you do. Long story short, that woman joined my company, joined my team, and she ended up earning a free car as well as I did within her first 6 months. And she was also the lady who earned her second car before me, and I earned it right after her from that company challenge. So when you imagine what you want, your brain acts like a GPS to guide you there. Don't believe me? Test it. If you don't believe me, research it. You'll be so surprised. So it's not necessarily hard work. You have to do your part. You must do your part. Don't just sit down and wish. But, don't overwork yourself, because unless you're doing inspired work, and when you do inspired work, you can do it all the time and just lose track of time. All right? So what you want to do is make a list of 6 most important things to do every night before you go to bed. And with the 6 most important things list, I would suggest you write the things that are priority, that must happen to help you to reach those goals. All right. And there's a story about Ivy Lee. This is a true story. He approached Schwab and he told him that he could make his workers more productive. And at the end of the time, Schwab should pay him what he thought it was worth. And Ivy Lee did the same thing that I'm telling you to do. And at the end of the 30 days, Schwab's employees, their production was so high that he paid him $35,000. And it's called the $35,000 idea in the book. And at the time, $35,000 is a lot of money now, but then it was almost like $1 million. If you talk about dollar, worth, because we have inflation now, so the dollar is worth less. So this 6 most important things list can help you to get to your goals. I was resistant to it, but I might as well just surrender and just do it. All right. And finally, keep the list with you all day long. Keep it in your pocketbook and just check things off as it gets done. Whatever doesn't get done, put it to the next day. All right. So if you like what I talked about today, I want you to like, share, and subscribe. I want to thank my people for watching. Abby, Perla, Natalie, Catherine, Alexia. I want to thank you all for watching. I pray that this created value for you. My goal is that you get joy in 2021, that you realize that you have the power. Nothing outside of you has power over you. You have the power. And it's time for us to go out there and use our God-given gifts and talents to make life better for those around us. Again, if you like what I talked about, like, share, subscribe, and follow me on my YouTube channel, I Create Value. I love you all from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for investing your time with me. And let me know if what I'm teaching you is working. And again, don't forget to check out the stories. I'll put some images up there so you can see what I'm talking about and how to implement some of the ideas. Love you guys. Bye.